early on, I think I called a lot of what happened with the Trump campaign correctly. My early impressions of his campaign was that he was onto something, that if sort of mainstream American pundits didn't wake up, they were going to find out very quickly that, they were making him stronger by misreporting things about him. And then, there is a section of that book where I was convinced by a pollster that he had absolutely no chance of winning. And so I kind of got the wrong impression that his campaign was really going to result historically just in the destruction of the Republican Party.
So what did you come to make of Trump, both in terms of his strengths and weaknesses? What's your assessment of Donald Trump?
Well, one of the first times I saw Trump in person was in New Hampshire. I think I was in Plymouth, New Hampshire. I was at Plymouth State University, I think was the locale. And, the press is always on a riser. We always look ridiculous standing in the middle of a political event. And Trump started to talk about us. He feels the crowds out like a comedian. He looked at us and he said, "You see these people over here, see these bloodsuckers, they've never come so far for an event. They hate me. They want me to lose so bad. They want all of you to lose." And I watched as the crowd kind of turned toward us and started hissing, and they were throwing bits of paper at us and everything. And I immediately recognized this is going to work, and the reason I knew it was going to work is because who doesn't hate journalists? Just look at us, and there were a lot of people.
No, you and your Mongolian basketball career.
Well, yeah, they don't know. The average person probably doesn't know about that, but the ordinary journalist, a political journalist who covers presidential campaigns is a very specific type of character. That person is always wearing a gingham shirt, a tie, and khakis, and asks you one question that he already knows the answer that he wants, and then goes back to, and then writes the story they've already pre-written. People hate that person, and I recognize...
Yeah, and for good reason.
Right? And so Trump picked up on that, and then he started to move not just from the press, but to other institutions, NATO, the Fed, Congress, obviously. But what he was doing, he was feeling in his crowds that there was this enormous amount of resentment out there about all kinds of issues. And he was feeding it, I think, in many cases with very sensible and real criticisms. Some of the things he said I totally disagreed with and I thought were outlandish and crazy and unnecessary.